This hourglass represents your entire life. As you see, the sand from the future is rushing toward you and moving into the past. And if you can really understand the metaphor of this hourglass, you'll understand how life actually works. The only moment, the only sand that you can actually come in contact with is the sand in the bottleneck. This is the moment of now. And most people are not spending any time realizing that this moment actually exists. We spend time chasing the past, which is moving on into a different direction than where we're going. And we also spend time worrying about the future. Like I always say, don't be a worrier, be a warrior, right? And so this future is full of multiple superposition potential realities. And so a lot of the times we are worrying about things that might not even happen because the future is not set in stone. Potentials are racing toward you, towards this bottleneck. You can only observe what collapsed reality happens here in the bottleneck. And then as it moves on to the past, we then keep attachments to the past. We keep trauma links to the past. We keep focusing on the past. The past is gone. It's time to heal from your past so that you can manifest a better reality for yourself in the moment of now. Worrying about what happened in the past is torture and self-mental mutilation. Okay? We have to understand this because we learn from our past experiences, and that's great. Matter of fact, we wouldn't be who we are today if we didn't learn from the past. Humanity as a whole also learns from its past. We're supposed to learn from our past. When you're a child, when you're a baby, and you're just learning how to walk, and you come close to an electric outlet, your parent might discourage you from touching that outlet, right? By raising their voice a little bit, or maybe moving your hand away, letting you know it's dangerous. Why? Because if you touch it, you'll get electrocuted and potentially unalive yourself. And so knowing that, even as a toddler, after being discouraged several times from touching that electric outlet, but a third or fourth time, we act like we don't even see it anymore. We just pass right by it. Why? Because we've learned from our past experiences that that's not to be touched because there must be some form of danger there. Okay? So we can learn from the past, and we should learn from our past. But at the same time, don't hang on to the past so much so that you're living there. You must live in the moment of now. Everything that you want is racing toward you from a higher dimension. The universe is sending everything back at you. If you're stuck in the past, you won't be able to see the blessings that are moving in your directions. You won't be able to discern them as opportunities that you can take advantage of to collapse the reality that you're really looking for. The past is fixed. The future is potential. So no matter what you're worrying about in terms of the future, remember, there are multiple potential future outcomes. In quantum mechanics, this is called superposition. In science, they discovered that multiple future realities exist simultaneously. So what are you worrying for? Why are you panicking? Why are you in fear and anger and frustration at something that hasn't even happened yet? The best thing you can do to manifest the future that you really want is to analyze what you are worrying about. Write it down. Get out a pen and a paper. Write down everything that you are worried about happening in the future. Write them down. And then I want you to, next to each one, start writing potential solutions to those situations. If you can't provide the solution yourself, who can you reach out to that can help you provide the solution? Who can you connect with or network with to help bring a solution to that situation? Start focusing on the solution to the problem, and all of a sudden those problems begin to just dwindle away. It's not that they're gone, it's that the energy, that negative energy associated with them begins to dissipate because now you're beginning to feel more prepared. You are beginning to feel like you can overcome these potential future situations, or at least you're prepared for what's coming your way potentially. Right? So you can begin to reroute and navigate the future matrix. But if you sit there panicked and worrying, all you're doing is making yourself sick. You are creating dis-ease in the body, which will turn into disease, and then you'll be pushing up daisies. So if you want to change that and you want to be able to collapse the reality that you want, analyze the things that you're worrying about. A lot of the times we are worrying about things that will never truly affect us. Let's focus on the things that we can control now, in the moment of now, like focusing on solutions to potential issues and problems. A genius solves problems before they happen. So let's focus on becoming geniuses, which we all have the capability of doing. And then let's look into that potential future reality, and let's isolate and select a particular future outcome that we feel is beneficial for us. And once you isolate that particular future outcome that you feel is beneficial for you through conscious thought, you haven't gone anywhere, you haven't even left your room or your house or your office, you send your mind outside of space and time to pick out the future reality that you want to bring and manifest in your life. And once you isolate that, you then, again, pen and paper, start making a plan to rendezvous with that future reality, an action plan. Remember, you had the conscious thought, you send your mind outside of space and time to see a future that you would love, that you would want to manifest based on any situation. And then you begin to create your plan on how you're going to use action to attack that. In other words, to actually bring it to fruition through energy exchange. Once you start initiating that energy exchange, you are now fracturing timelines and shifting and changing future realities because you're taking action within the universe. The action that you take in the moment of now has a reciprocating effect on future events. In other words, if I just sit here in my home office here and don't go anywhere, I'm not going to interact with anyone on the outside. If I don't get online and talk to you all, I'm not going to interact with you. If I just sit here and don't move and don't get online and don't speak or talk to anyone for the next 10 years, then I won't affect any future timeline. My timeline will be extremely stale. But if I turn on a live feed or a video recorder like this and speak to you all, my conscious thoughts and my somatic vibrations coming out of my mouth with conscious intent will have an impact on your mind, which will have an impact on decisions that you make and fracture the timeline. If I leave here and go outside and get in my car and drive to a restaurant around the corner, I'm going to have to interact with cars at four-way stop signs, traffic lights, getting in line at a location to maybe be seated when people will be behind me and in front of me. All this alters and fractures potential future timelines because now it's shifting everyone's timeline. We have a direct effect on timelines on a moment-by-moment basis, and we don't even realize it. So it's not woo-woo, it's not magic. So now that we know we're doing this automatically, let's hyper-focus on this. Let's begin to create the reality that we want to see by sending our mind outside of space and time into a potential future timeline, and then coming back to the moment of now where we can actually begin to make the plans, and then create an action plan that will allow us to nudge ourselves in that direction of collapsing that potential future reality in this third dimension. And at some point we will rendezvous with that future situation that we envisioned, as long as we take the proper action steps. This is how you can time travel. This is how you do it. You can manifest your own future reality through sending your mind outside of space and time, coming back to the moment of now, creating action steps to achieve those goals, and then putting the energy into it. And before you know it, you'll turn around, and when you actually look at the moment of now that you're in, at that intersection of timelines, you'll realize you did it. You collapsed the future reality that you wanted, not the one that potentially was going to come your way randomly. So we have these random events that can come at us. Well, they seem random, but they're based on our frequency. So we're in the frequency of doubt, fear, anger, worrying, right? Anxious, depressed, all those frequencies. That information is being transmitted out of the body into the field. this energetic quantum field that exists and connects everything throughout the entire known universe. The universe just holds up a mirror and sends that same frequency of stuff back at you. And before you know it, you'll have a problem for every solution. I'm telling you, you'll have a problem for every solution. You will have so many problems, you'll be like, I don't understand what's going on. What's happening? It'll be a slew of things coming at you from every different direction, but it's because of your frequency. Now, once you recognize and bring awareness to what's going on and you shift your frequency, now you're in a totally different mindset. You're out of fear. You're out of anxiety. You're out of fight or flight. You're in hyper focus. You're in motivation, inspiration. You release the self-sabotaging mindset. You've reprogrammed your subconscious. And now you are ready to access the moment of now and create future plans within this quantum field so that you can rendezvous with the future that you would like to be a part of. The ancients used to do this. They called themselves the ordainers of destiny in the ancient Sumerian tablets. And these elites that had the power to do this would literally create the realities that they wanted to see on this planet. Enlil was talking to his sister Ninhursag in the Sumerian tablets, and he was talking about creating a city. He was talking about creating a city center, street grids, aqueducts, and all of this. And guess what? He told his sister, this will be the plan for cities for all time on this planet. And still to this day, all cities around the entire world copy the city grid plan and the city center plan from ancient Sumeria, just as he said it would. It still lasted. He created a future reality that's persisting till this very moment. We all have this power. We are just unaware of it. Why? Because we keep focusing on the past. We keep torturing ourselves on what's happening in the past. And then we torture ourselves by worrying about what's going to happen in the future. Instead of focusing right here in the moment of now. The only moment that we can access, that we can feel, that we have some level of control. Up here, you can send your mind outside of space and time and potentially collapse future realities if you understand the steps in the process, which is why I started the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. So that I can teach you how to reprogram your mind, teach you how to send your mind outside of space and time, teach you how to isolate a specific target in the future and collapse it into your reality tunnel, step by step by step. The past, this is where you need to do the shadow work, which I teach you how to do the shadow work. How do you work on your trauma? How do you work on past traumas and process them out of the body so that you can significantly reduce your trauma links? And your worry and your focus, hyper-focus, most people are hyper-focusing on past events. They're living back there instead of living here where it really matters and where it really counts.